you ready for this?
Gonna be fun.
You will not stand in my way.
Frostborn, hunger. This pleases me.
I do not fear you, mortal.
Your soul shall be mine.
Don't make me laugh.
Needs a brew? Oh, I do. Feel a shredding, baby. Let the battle begin.
So hello and welcome to the 78th episode of the Nexus Trolls. Hopefully LiQuid's little laugh, Alarak laugh got in there at the end of that intro video. This is a podcast all about Here's the Storm, part of the Trolls.gg Entertainment Network. I'm your host Daz, and I'm joined today, as always, by Mystic and LiQuid. Guys, how's it going? How's your week been?
What's up?
LiQuid, you watched the Diablo rework video about 10 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago.
Oh my god!
I can tell
So
you're as
amazing.
giddy as a little schoolgirl at the moment.
Yes.
Because we all know how much you love Diablo. The only thing that might make you more excited is if there was a rework to ETC incoming as well.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Diablo is more fun to play. ETC, I think Diablo is my, I want to relax, chill, and have fun playing character. So I think I'm more excited about this than I would be that, honestly.
Cool. Well, we're going to be talking about that in a bit more detail later in the show. But we do have a special guest with us today. GOONHOTS, welcome back to the show. Second time guesting.
Yeah, always good to be here. I'm glad to join you guys, talk about some HOTS, and I'm with LiQuid. I'm excited about this Diablo. I want to get into it.
I know.
I want to get into it.
So do I. So let's just get into the show, shall we? Before we jump in, we always thank our patrons over at patreon.com/trollsgg. If you want, looking for a way to support the show, you can always do so over there. The show's always going to be free, but if you're looking for a way to support us, head over there and check it out. Our troll of the week this week is DJ Tyrant, one of the Bush League casters for Nexus Commentaries. Great guy. Met him at BlizzCon last year too. DJ Tyrant, thanks for being a friend of the show and doing all the work you've been doing for Bush League. Okay, so with that, let's just jump into the news.
Someday, this will make a great story.
So LiQuid, our Bush League
We
season
will win one day. We will win one
isn't
day.
going too hot. We're 0-6. We're headed straight to that Crucible. We might have clinched a spot already. We really need to get our first win, and we're going up against the top team next week, Tower Baron Squared, at 9 p.m. Eastern, and it's actually getting cast by Goon. So hopefully you'll bring us some luck, Goon. Maybe give us some little hints along the way, because I think God knows we need them.
LiQuID don't suck. Oh, there's hit number one. There's hit number one. You know what it is?
I'll set the delay to 0, and you guys can listen in.
There you go. You know what it is? I'll all that matters is the playoffs, man. 4 teams, nothing matters till you hit that playoff spot.
And we're just gonna go in and we're gonna sweep the playoffs, and everyone's gonna bitch about it because we had 0-9 for the season or something. But hey, that's the format, the way it goes. But also, you can catch a lot of replay analysis and stuff that Goon's been doing on Sundays too. He's caught a couple of our games and told us a little bit what we're doing wrong, but I guess we haven't been listening hard enough, LiQuid.
Clearly not.
Yeah, Goon, you've been having a lot of fun with Bush League too. You've been casting, I'd say, more than half the games now. You're doing next week's as well as the week after that. You've been doing all this replay analysis and everything too.
It's fun. It's a good time. I get to hang out, talk trash to you guys as you guys play, and hang out with Soken, my buddy, a good buddy of mine, and it's fun. It's fun. Just really, yeah. I just love hammering it. I love just, I'll dress up. I'll do whatever. I'm gonna enjoy my time. You guys are out there playing. I wish I could be playing. I'm gonna do what I can to make sure I'm having fun on my end.
And you've helped transform it into this kind of themed feel, underground hot scene. It feels like we're
Dude,
this kind of
awesome.
Fight Clubby type.
We don't
thing.
talk about it, but here we are talking about it.
Exactly. Yeah. So underground, not even Blizzard knows about it.
Everyone watching this show is part of the underground, so we're okay. So LiQuid, there's some HGC stuff that happened last week. Do you want to tell me about that?
A little bit
Something
of
important,
Crucible
right?
news. A little bit. Little thing called the Crucible happened. There were 3 regions that had the Crucible. I think China did too, but it's hard to tell and hard to get anything out of China, to be honest. But we had 6 amateur teams facing off against 6 professional teams, and only one team got the win. Everybody else got the loss. and that is Master Theater in Korea beat Team Ace 4-2. The other matches all went to the HGC Pro teams. So the other game in Korea was IL. That's I with like 5 L's after it. Versus Team Feliz. They lost to Feliz 4-1. Then over in EU, Leftovers beat Granite Gaming 4-1, and Diamond Skin beat Worst Positioning 4-1. And rounding it out, NA LFM beat XD 4-2. And in probably the series of the weekend, No Tomorrow beat King's Gambit 4-3. So like if you only watch one set, watch that set because that was very back and forth.
Is it time to get rid of the Crucible? Like it feels like the open teams are having problems moving up here. They're also I'm on the side of Trent Esports. What like he talked about in the past about it leading to instability with sponsorship. In the high end, like the people that actually have HGC spots, like if you're a sponsor, you might not want to get in there because you potentially lose your sponsor spot, right? Or you lose your roster spot.
All right, I kind of see that. I can kind of see that.
And looking at this anyways, like we had one team come up, like that's it. So
last year we had 4.
I don't know, but I'm just posing the question,
right? Like
I'm posing the question. I'm not the HGC guy. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
If you look, first of all, I think promotion relegation is very important. Both of the both Hero Physio and QB agreed with that on Tuesday, and these are 2 coaches who just escaped relegation, and they think it's good for the scene. I think it's important to have a way for amateurs to make it into the pros. So if you do away with Crucible, right, you have to put some kind of system in place. You have to give amateurs away. Otherwise, you know what you're left with? 8 simplicities playing each other, and I'm walking. So,
yeah, I don't necessarily think a lot of the instability in HGC happens because the Crucible is there. I think a lot of the instability that happens occurs because of the players, the relationships, and all the drama stuff that we're seeing on Reddit right now. That's the reason why it's so unstable.
When I was saying instability, I didn't mean with like rosters and stuff like that kind of stuff. I meant like sponsors, like
sponsors, right?
That's why the sponsors don't want to come in, is because of the instability that these players and teams have with one another. The relegation, I think, is it's a small issue, but it's not as big an issue as.
Well, they have it in League. They used to have it in League.
I
think they still do.
You know,
they
no.
They got
rid of it.
System, don't they?
They got rid of the relegation. They're franchise now, so.
You know what they need to do?
Right, yeah.
They make all this drama around Rockstar Apocalypse into like a reality TV show. That would bring a lot of mass media interest into it. Yeah, well,
I would watch
sure
that.
I mean, we're all watching on Twitter unfold almost on a daily basis, right?
I mean, I would watch just for the GFE drama, if nothing else. At this point.
Instead of Big Brother, they could call it Big Feeders. There you go, Blizzard. Free,
right?
Free.
Blizzard, that's a freebie. You can take that one. Heroes of the Dorm.
I was just gonna say all these talks about reality TV shows or something like that. If you guys know TSM from League of Legends, yeah, they kind of have something similar to that.
Oh, seriously?
Do they?
Yeah, they do. It's called I think it's still called TSM Legends. So yeah,
interesting.
Look.
So here we are thinking we're geniuses coming out with this idea. It turns out it's been done before. Okay.
They have
Episode
cameras.
9 is named
in the
Collapse. This is great.
Suddenly we've lost LiQuiud. He's leaving Trolls GG now for League of Legends because they've got reality TV. Okay, let's move along before we get down this rabbit hole. Heroes of the Dorms happening, right? Right, LiQuiud?
This weekend.
What's going
So
on
not
there?
only
Who's
is
going to
Heroes
win?
of the Dorm this weekend, right? Oh, Kentucky.
Is that your heart or your
but
head
not
telling you
only-
that?
Both, man. Both. Kentucky wins. That's how it goes. Like all the haters out there, Kentucky's winning. And I'm gonna get my pick'em prize because Kentucky's winning. No, I mean, like, look, the 4 teams that are playing this weekend are good. I'm personally picking Kentucky to win. But not only is there Heroes of the Dorm this weekend, which everybody should check out, there's also the International Clash this weekend, which is where ANZ and Latin America come together and clash to figure out who the minor region team going to midseason brawl is from those two regions. So there's 3 games going on this weekend. There's a ANZ final between Mindfreak and Crimson Gaming, and then there's a Copa America final between FratRez and Encore. And then those two teams meet. That's on May 12th. Those two, the winner of those games, meet May 13th to play each other. And winner of that single best of 7 goes to midseason brawl. So lots of esports action this weekend. Check it out. And then next weekend is the Horizon Clash, which is Southeast Asia versus Taiwan. Similar situation.
So if people want to get more HGC coverage, where should they go?
Oh, check out Troll and HGC. Goon has actually joined us over there as a permanent member. And we just had Hero Physio, coach of LFM Esports, and QB on, coach of No Tomorrow this week. So definitely check that out. I uploaded it to YouTube today.
Yep, so check out the VOD, everybody. Con Before the Storm Kickstarter. We've been talking about that past few weeks, but they've reached one of their stretch goals. You can get more information at conbeforestorm.com. There's no the in there, it's conbeforestorm.com. They're still looking to hit some of their stretch goals. This is an event that's a pre-BlizzCon event. They've got a whole bunch of panels. LiQuiud was on one of the panels last year, the World of Podcast. They got a whole bunch of artists, a whole bunch of meetups. You can actually go meet the different teams. You can meet some of your favorite casters there too. Really cool event. We'll all be there too. Me and LiQuiud.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say we got BlizzCon tickets, right?
Yeah. We got to go to Con Before the Storm.
We'll be there.
That event is amazing. I already what is it? I pledged early on as soon as the actually I think it was the 6th pledge. As soon as they hit Kickstarter, and because I knew even if I didn't get BlizzCon tickets, which would have been really weird, but possible, I still wanted to pledge to Con Before the Storm because it is amazing. But I got tickets, so I'm definitely hanging out there that night.
A lot of people didn't get tickets. LiQuiud, me and you, our APM for this kind of stuff is off the hook. We get in like milliseconds after that thing opens up, but I was looking at people on Discord and I'd see like 1 in 3 or 4 people were getting tickets from what I heard. Yeah. A lot of people didn't happen to get them, but don't fret, everybody, if you didn't get a chance first round. They are going on sale again on the second batch Saturday, May the 12th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, so make sure you got the time zones correct there. You can just Google BlizzCon 2018. You'll see that it's up on Universe. You can make sure you sign up for a Universe account in advance so you can go through the checkout process faster. Just a little pro tip there. But yeah, you go there. They've got instructions and everything. Just make sure you read through everything. You know what you're doing because this is your last chance. And if you can't get tickets there is actually a Discord you can go into where people are looking to buy and sell tickets at face value, and it's usually pretty easy to get them there because people will buy extras, for their friends kind of thing, and then they end up having extras to sell, and they'll be selling them in that Discord. We'll make sure we put that link in the show notes as well.
You said face value, right? Like they're not.
They don't mark it up. It's one of their rules.
Okay.
If you find a scalper, report them. Blizzard takes that shit hard.
Yeah,
this is just shuts it down.
It's just people like both myself and LiQuiud. We were like, hey, we're both buying as many tickets as we can because if one of us doesn't get them, we want to make sure the other person does. But then if we both get them, we end up having extra tickets. And I think that's what the kind of case you'll have. Yeah. So there's a lot of people looking to dish tickets, or they buy them early. They for whatever reason can't go because it's a long trip, a lot of money, so they're trying to offload their tickets. They don't do it for profit, they just do it at face value. It's like fans helping fans out.
I think I'm going to try again Saturday too and try and pick up another set of 4.
So don't even go to that Discord, just talk to LiQuiud because he's going to he's like he can hook up
Nope. I have an idea, and I will drop it during our big announcement period. But we need to check and see if we can legally do that. But I have an idea for something I might be doing.
Okay. So, that being said, we do have a big announcement that we're going to be hitting at the end of the show. So stick around, definitely, if you're watching this. It's going to be right after the Trolling the Nexus segment. So let's get into this next part of the show then, the patch notes blitz. So what we're going to do here is there was a patch that was dropped just yesterday. And I think there was 18, maybe 19 heroes that were changed, actually. So we're going to go over each one of those in a bit of a shotgun style format. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about them 1 minute each, starting with Phoenix. Whoop, there we go. So I'll go over the changes to these heroes, and I'll pass the ball on to someone to get the conversation rolling. We've only got a minute to talk about each one, so this is going to be hella fast. There's a few heroes that we're saving for the second portion of the show because we want to talk about them in more detail. So these are just kind of, if you notice, like Kael'Thas, GOONHOTS, and Malfurion are missing, it's because we're going to talk about them in more detail shortly. So starting with Phoenix. Phoenix had health and regen, shields and shield regen reduced by 5%. Range bonus for phase bomb reduced from 1.5 to 1.25. Warp cooldown has been increased from 15 to 17 seconds, and the range is reduced from 11 to 9. So we'll start with Goon's impressions here. Goon, is Phoenix still OP? Talk to me.
Phoenix is still going to be pretty strong in the right hands. Not as oppressive in the lower levels, and can be punished even harder in the higher levels. Not as tanky. Can't, I guess, create as much distance between himself and the opponent as easily. And even if he does create some distance, it's going to be, I don't want to say punished, but you have to use that cooldown, the warp cooldown, a little bit more sparingly. He's going to have to get up front. He's actually going to have to take some damage, making those trades either on his shield or in his HP. But overall, I think it's a pretty healthy change. And yeah, he's still going to be pretty good.
Even after the last set of nerfs, I didn't feel like Phoenix was oppressive like he was before. And these are pretty big changes. 5% to health regen and shields and shield regen. The range difference is huge too, because those phase bombs, like you could poke those down pretty safely, but him as well as Hanzo on this patch both received some nerfs to the range. We've already seen the range nerf to Tracer and Genji recently. The mobility creep is going backwards and reverse. Okay, so
backwards in
reverse. That's how slowly backwards it's going. Okay. Next up, we've got GOONHOTS. So GOONHOTS, level 1, Glyph of Drain Life that increased the cast range of Drain Life has been replaced with Chaotic Energy. This is where globes return 50% more health and mana. Drain Life cast range is increased by 25%, and after collecting 20 globes, mana costs are all reduced by 20. Interesting talent. Level 4, Health Funnel. That's the talent that gives Drain Life reset on kills. Will now actually also reduce the cooldown of Drain Life by 100% while it's active. Level 7, Curse of Exhaustion. Instead of giving a slow when corruption damage expires, it will now give you 50% increased damage to Drain Life when used on the corrupted targets and slow them by 25%. That screams high skill cap to me. And then level 20, Haunt. Armor reduction amount on Fear has been decreased from 25 to 20. So I'll start with the ball on this one because I've been playing a lot of GOONHOTS. This looks like they're trying to buff his Drain Life build, which I've never really liked too much to begin with anyways.
It's garbage.
Yeah, like I feel like it's not.
Keep going.
I don't feel like that's really his thing. Do you guys see any sort of place for Drain Life now? Like this kind of build?
Not really.
No, everything else is still, I think, better.
Why are they doing this here? Is this just to try and like buff some of his underperforming talents and give talent diversity?
Yeah, I think if you look at all of these changes, that's what they were for.
Yeah, this is one of those changes where it's like if you see your GOONHOTS and Quick Match taking it, you don't flame him as hard. Right?
You still flame him a little bit, enough to make sure he understands that he's making the wrong choices in life. But yeah, I don't think you should be taking anything different on GOONHOTS. I don't think this is going to change his win rate very much, except for those people that are taking the wrong talent choices. Might give them slight buffs. Okay,
job's done.
Next on the list is Hanzo. Now Hanzo, like I said before, just like Phoenix, has had a bit of a range decrease in a couple of places. His basic attack range has been decreased from 7.5 to 6.5. His jump range has been decreased from 10 to 9. And level 4 explosive arrows, that's where you could like shoot your Q into a minion wave and blow up the whole minion wave. The AoE damage when hitting minions or monsters only do 75% AoE damage as opposed to 100% AoE damage like they did before. So Mystic, talk to me, bud. What's going on with Hanzo?
So yeah, Blizzard finally realized, hey, getting off-screened by this hero constantly is, not really any fun, and not really many heroes can return damage or do anything at that range, so they're just like, okay, we're toning it back, we're actually giving it so that you can actually hit him or something, or have the chance to hit him while he's not as far away. And then the explosive arrows, it was just kind of, it was kind of strong where he would just walk up, cue the minion wave, and it'd just be dead instantly. So
It's way OP.
Yeah, they're just like, this might be a little bit too strong. So yeah, let's tone that back a bit.
He has like almost 100% like participation rate lately. So I mean, we can't really be that surprised, right?
Well, watch out, Chromie. Your ranges are coming next here. I feel like everyone's
no.
been hit.
Chromie will always be that way.
Job's done.
Chromie is supposed to be that kind of in the back 30 person. The rest, she doesn't have the escapes, right? Hanzo has the escapes. That was the problem with him. It was too easy to be way at distance, and the minute they look at you, hop over a wall.
LiQuiud confirms Chromie's supposed to be that
Yes.
Yes.
Yep,
Oh.
100%.
Chromie one trick coming.
She's
up.
a
I don't
freaking
know.
dragon, of course.
I don't know
she
if I
is.
want to agree with that one.
You don't have to. That's why we talk.
Right. More nerfs coming. This time to Maiev. Maev's health and regen has been reduced by 6%, attack damage reduced by 3%, and Vault of the Wardens cooldown is increased from 12 to 13 seconds. Boy, that Vault of the Wardens keeps getting touched every patch. Hey, Mystic, talk to me, bud. Tell me about Maiev.
She still does her job well. I don't know if she actually needed these nerfs. Like, yeah, she was kind of tanky, and she kind of like went in and just like pulled people and just threw out her Warden's Cage, but it's like that's kind of just what she does now. It's like now reducing her auto attack damage, which means like the auto attack damage builds or talents aren't as good, and then they're reducing her health. It's like I feel like she was already in a good spot, but maybe Blizzard was just like, yeah, her numbers were still too high, so we're nerfing it a little more.
I agree with Mystic on that. I agree. I think she was decent. She was in a decent place. I think a lot of her power comes in the Q resets, and if you aren't landing those and you're not using her right, personally, I mean, the Vault of Warden's cool. You increase the cooldown, that makes heroes like Jaina, Kael'Thas, like we'll get into later, more, I guess,
Job's
reliable. But
Yeah, it feels like this patch is hitting at all the quote-unquote meta characters, right? And
Well,
nerfing them
okay.
down a bit.
Do you have my hat ready?
No, I don't. But we'll pretend there's a
Okay.
tinfoil hat on your head right now.
Mid-season brawl is not that far away. Far enough that they couldn't release this patch much further on, but close enough that if they release it now, we still affect the meta going into mid-season brawl and what they actually play there. But not like to the point where teams and players are like, Blizzard, why did you literally release this the last possible day you could release this before having it legally playable at mid-season brawl?
yeah. Yeah.
So it's a month. It's a month from yesterday. At most, they could have made one more week before they run into that period of time where teams are like, well, we don't have time to practice this patch.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where it's like, I'm glad they made this change. So now we see some cool stuff, some interesting things happen at mid-season brawl potentially. However, I also wanted to know whose meta was better? Going into this. Yeah.
Well, if
But-
you look at their past, like, I hate to sound like the naysayer, we weren't going to see that. If you look at starting with BlizzCon, not last year's midseason brawl, because they didn't do this at last year's midseason brawl, but if you look at BlizzCon, they released a patch leading up to opening week at BlizzCon, and so it made sense. Like, it seemed like that was they were starting to do it before the clashes, same type of thing. So it made sense that they're trying to get into this. We want to shake the meta up a little bit before we have a major tournament. I don't know. I feel like that's also why they want to release Diablo so quickly. Like, they have to have enough time for those changes to be live for players to practice on them.
Yeah, and the most important thing actually about these patches is they drop, and people just all of a sudden, hey, we'll stop first banning Maiev, we'll stop first banning Phoenix, and then I get to play them, and then I get
There
to
you go.
destroy everybody in Hero League with it. That's how that works. Just kidding. I suck.
Don't pull back.
Don't let him
pull back.
shortchange himself, boys.
Next on the list is Thrall. Thrall had chain lightning damage and bounce damage reduced by 9%. Level 1 Rolling Thunder. That used to be a staple pick. No longer increases the range of lightning. You now get mana and 2.5% of your health back when hitting a marked target. So the changes, you now get the 2.5% of your health back. If you remember before Thrall reworks, this was kind of like the go-to talent choice to get that kind of mana return. Level 4 Frostwolf Pack questing talent requirement for heroes hit with your W reduced from 7 to 6. I'll start with the ball here. I think the biggest piece, a little side note here, is his damage and bounce damage of chain lightning being reduced. It's getting hit harder and harder. Crash Lightning got hit just a couple patches back. Now we're pulling it down another 9%, limiting his poke damage. Thrall's been very popular, and I've been having a lot of fun with him, having a lot of success, and this makes me sad inside because 9% is one of the biggest numbers you'll see for a decrease in any patch anywhere for an ability, and this hurts me.
He can bully better now. With that health back on hit mark targets, dude.
I don't know. Are you gonna take that though?
No, I took the green. I took Rolling Thunder if I was Thrall laning against like a Zagara or something like that, or like any kind of ranged hero. That extra range on your Q, that extra poke, that extra mana return is really nice, and you eventually bully them out of the lane with that damage alone. With that change, my tinfoil hat. I think Blizzard's saying, hey, if you want to solo lane with the ranged hero, you can. And Thrall's not going to be able to beat you as hard as he used to before. So
interesting.
Can't wait to see.
I think he might. I think the health return is going to help him stay in lane longer.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see how that balances, right? The damage balance versus the potential change in choice level 1, because that wasn't under pick talent. So maybe that becomes the go-to. Who knows? I guess we'll have to see. But either way you look at it, 10% or 9% less damage on his poke.
Right.
Okay, next up we've got Tracer. A very small note of what changed with Tracer, but potentially a very big impact. Tracer's recall destination is now visible to enemies. Goon, are we going to be killing some Tracers today?
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot more Tracer deaths for sure. The indicator on the ground happens. It's if you're not looking for it, you're not going to see it, right? So this is a change I think that's going to affect higher level players. They're going to be looking for that thing, and in the lower leagues, every once in a while, if you do manage to pick up on it and see it, maybe you punish it. But this is a huge nerf to higher level Tracers, in my opinion. Like I said, it's very fast. The little indicator is very fast. It's kind of faint. It's just a circle on the ground, like a little arrow rewind circle on the ground. And if you're looking out for that, you're gonna punish the Tracer. If you're that guy that's stuck in plat and you say you're actually GM, you're gonna be looking for that, and you're gonna see it, and you're gonna blast her. But I think it's a healthy change, honestly.
Or not, because you really belong in plat.
Or not. Hey, he said it, not me.
I do want to say one thing about this, though. I agree that it's going to affect high-level play, and I think that's why they made this change, because I think they're specifically looking at this as a way to say, we're sick of seeing Tracer hyper carry meta, right? Like, if you look at the last couple weeks of HGC, there were a lot of 2 support, 2 warrior Tracer comps, a lot of them. And this kind of does away with that, right? Because it's a little easier to pick her off if you know where she's going to recall.
It gives you the opportunity to hit her with skill shots or stuns, because you'll know exactly. It's not that guesswork anymore. Like generally, like whenever I see a Tracer do the recall, I'd be like, okay, you'd be like, she's around there 4 seconds ago or 3 seconds ago or whatever,
Right.
and you
right,
kind of
right.
know around where she is. Now that you know exactly where she is, you can throw that merge.
You can
in
slide
there,
her.
right? You can do whatever you
Or-
want.
yeah.
If you have the timing down, maybe even before she has a chance to get her blinks off. If she
Maybe
hasn't yet.
maybe Diablo charge right away because you know where
Or
it's coming from.
maybe get that last hit on convection there. On her, right?
Yeah.
That's all. That's all it usually needs to finish off that Tracer, right? After she hits that recall panic button. Okay, Tychus is next on the list. Overkill is Q. The cooldown's been reduced from 13 to 12 seconds, and the mana cost has also been reduced. Level 4, the bigger they are, that's the talent that increases minigun's bonus damage to 4%, up from 2.5%, if the hero is above 35% health, and removes the bonus below 35% health to flat out 0. Now it will also passively reduce minigun's cooldown by 2 seconds. So Mystic. Tychus has been, ever since he got that range decrease, a hero that I haven't been playing a lot of. Is this an opportunity that I should start picking him back up? Is this change enough to make him more relevant?
Well, typically when you pick Tychus, it's for like combo. Like you combo somebody down because he can bring somebody down like really fast with the bigger they are. And I think the minigun cooldown will help a bit. So will the overkill cooldown, but it's kind of the same. You pick him in the exact same situations where you would originally pick him. It's just that he's slightly stronger now, and I don't think these changes are enough to really change that much, but they are helpful to him.
Yeah, I guess one of the problems the bigger they are is like you never got that extended duration that you get with whatever was Into the Rhythm, I think, which used to be the meta pick. So this gives it more uptime, which would have been the biggest drawback of taking this. Also, I guess it synergizes more effectively with that health return that you can get on a later talent too. I can't remember what the name of that talent was, but I can see this helping out as well. Yeah, that's the stuff.
This makes Tychus deadlier to more tanks,
Job's
sooner. At level 4, right? This is when he gets that talent, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So, hey, double front line is a thing. So
Cho'Galls beware, right? Does that count as double front line? Because you got Cho and Gull in there. Probably not.
Hey, Bush League meta change. This is a Bush. This is a Bush League patch right here.
This is really what we need to start running Cho'Gall comps. Clearly, that's our problem, guys. We're not running Cho'Gall.
I know for a fact that Fringe is in chat and we're playing him next week. Don't leak our strats, bud.
Damn it! You're right. I answered him. Fringe, just ignore that. We're definitely not playing Cho'Gall next week.
Next on the list is Medivh. Medivh's level 7 Arcane Explosion. That's the bonus AoE damage that you pop off after the shield that he puts on a hero expires. It's been reduced from 100 to 50% of the mitigated damage as bonus damage going off when the shield expires. So he'll be doing less wombo combos with his per circle protection, which is something that they've been again steadily nerfing this kind of build going down the road. Is this what Medivh needs, Goon? Tell me about it.
I think it's a very healthy change. Arcane Explosion is pretty broken, even if you couple it with Circle of Protection. Even if you didn't, if you just took it by Arcane Explosion and just used it on yourself, it was very good. The damage was really good at just blowing up a target. You don't even have to hit that target that hard, but if 2 or 3 people get the Circle of Protection and the Arcane Explosion goes off, you're deleting that person. Now the damage is brought down a little bit. Now you're not necessarily blowing people up. You're not necessarily blowing up the core either. You're not eating a minion arrow and then blowing somebody up either. So I think this is a lot healthier. It wasn't fun to play against, and it's not fun consistently banning Medivh every scrim, every game because of this talent here. But
This combined with shielding all your friends in an area, it seems that like Blizzard wasn't really anticipating what that was going to produce in having that just like insane damage that you could just blow up anybody if they're caught inside of 3 Summeros that were getting hit by a Chromie Sandblast. Whoever's in the middle of that would just disappear, right? So this just shows that I think Blizzard was like, hey, we didn't want this kind of thing to be happening with Medivh, so we need to tone this back a little bit.
I think this puts him more in line with other supports, and he's gonna fill in that support that support niche a little bit more, because like right now people take him as a form of sustained or even burst damage in some compositions because he has it in his kit. Now the playstyle is going to change a little bit.
I agree this had to be done, but it was really no different than, you know, Tracer attacking a protected Genji. Like, people just needed to learn to play around it a little bit.
Yeah,
That's all. But yes, I agree. The damage numbers had to come down as well, but like the idiots that stand inside of three Samaros who just get sandblasted, like
sometimes you don't have the option
sorry.
though to get out
Yeah,
of that.
you come through a portal and all of a sudden you got 5 dudes that have circle protection.
Well, yeah, that's
there's
true.
nothing you can do about
There's
that.
nothing you can do at that point. You're dead.
Is this still the
You're
go-to?
dead, man.
Is this still the go-to talent on that tier, Goon?
I probably would still take it a bit just because I mean it's damage and damage is good in this game, especially when you can couple that with circle of protection and you blow up team. It just depends. I think on what you're up against, and this type of nerf again is one of those changes where you don't flame the Medivh on your team as hard for going something else.
Yeah.
But no, I'm curious to see what other options open up and what other play styles open up. I'm always looking for that.
Well, next on the list is Anna. Anna, who knows? Okay, so her Shrike trait, I think it's something that Mystic back in the day when she got her kind of mini rework a few weeks ago was saying this should have been probably here in the first place. Her Shrike trait will now heal Anna for dose damage onto all enemies, not just heroes. So she gets a lot more self-healing for mini waves and such, which is great. Healing Dart, her mana for that has been reduced from 15 to 10. That's a significant amount of mana reduction there, especially considering how much you have to spam it. Nano Boost,
Right.
the cooldown is increased from 60 to 70 seconds, and I feel like that's because of how Mystic played her. I remember you used to Nano Boost like when we were out of fights. We're like, "What are you doing, dude?" You're like, "You needed mana." it's short cooldown. You needed mana. I was like, "Good point."
Yeah.
So
I'll
maybe-
mana boost my Murd, and
Yeah.
he needs mana.
He needs the mana. It's like 6-second cooldown. Just pop it whenever.
Maybe they're thinking twice about that now. Level 1 detachable box magazine, which I always thought when she first came out was going to be the strongest first level talent pick. Didn't turn out that way. The first reward was removed because that actually would give you this whole Shrike change. So that's baked into her trait now. So this is by the way, this is when you get the final, if you get 15 max dosages on heroes, it's now reduced to 12. What you end up getting is that ability to activate your number 1 button and give like 3 free healing darts to give you like burst healing. So now that's 12 max dosages instead of 15 to get that, so you can get it a little bit earlier. Level 7 debilitating dart. This is an activatable dart. I didn't even know this existed. I had to look it up. It's on a 20-second cooldown. You shoot it out. That reduces damage done by the hero it hits. And the time that it does that is now decreased from 4 to 3 seconds, and now it also slows the target though for 50%. So Mystic, what's the biggest change here on Ana? What makes this more of an exciting change for Kit?
Honestly, the big things here, we have the Shrike one, where she heals off of minions now and like anything that she hits, so that's really good. Healing Dart mana increase, also really good. Now she can, doesn't run as fast. Nano Boost, okay, yeah, I feel like that was kind of necessary. 60 seconds is really short. The detachable box magazine, okay, that's okay. I think the big thing here though is debilitating dart. I thought it was a pretty strong talent already, not that many other people did, but 50% reduction is actually pretty huge. But the big thing is that it slows the target by 50% now too, which means not only when like whoever the enemy team's diver is dives you and you hit him with this debilitating dart, not only do they lose 50% damage, but now they're also slowed by 50%. So this is pretty huge if you're able to use it.
So it's shrink rate at level 7.
Job
Good one.
done.
So who do you take this against, Goon? Like what are your prime targets? So you'd be like, you know what, I'm going debilitating dart at 7. I got to go that route.
Maybe on the Greymane that jumps on me, or
God, yes.
If there's like maybe a Kael'Thas that's out of position, something like that. The biggest problem I have with this talent is that there's like a little wind up, and then the dart has to fly through the air and actually hit the target. Whereas mind numbing agent, you just kind of auto people, and and reduce. I do like the instant 50% slow and the 50% damage reduction. I'm gonna have to play around with it and see what I like. But yeah, I think that one single target, Greymane, if you just so happen to maybe catch a Genji with it, that would be nice. But
it's got the old Gilnean roulette problem before it got changed, where it just was so tough to hit 'cause it was slow. The range wasn't long enough. Like that, I feel like you said, is the problem with debilitating dart. Like if you miss it, you get absolutely no value out of it. So you have to make sure you're hitting that, and it's not the easiest skill shot to hit.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited to see what comes out of it. Yeah. I'm biased towards the mind numbing agent because the spell power reduction works against healing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a strong talent. All right, Ariel's next up. Bestow Hope. Her trait. Energy stored when Oriel hits non-heroes has been increased from 5% to 10% of the damage dealt. Level 4 repeated offense. Stacking stun damage on your ribbons is what this one was. Now you also increase Attainment Strike's knockback distance by 25%, so you get those stuns more reliably. Level 20, Diamond Resolve. This is the upgrade for Crystal Aegis. Armor granted upon Crystal Aegis expiration increased from 60 to 75. Doesn't matter, no one's still going to take it. So tell me, Goon, what are we thinking about Ariel now?
I like these changes. I don't necessarily think she's gonna all of a sudden appear out of the shadows and be a meta pick. But one of her biggest weaknesses was healing, sustaining people outside of skirmishes and team fights. So like when you're taking a boss on Curse Hollow or something like that, it's tough for her to sustain everybody. That extra damage that extra hope that she does generate is nice. Synergizes pretty well with her level 7 talent. I think it's at level 7. Level 7, whatever it is. I forget what it's called. But the repeated offense, where you get the extra knockback distance, I like how they bake that in. That allows you to land wall bangs with the ribbon more consistently. And if you wanted to, you could combo that with a talent at 16, where I think it's 16, maybe it's 13, where the Detainment Strike pierces through everybody and hits everybody, and you can knock them all away.
Ooh.
If you line them up, if you line them up.
I like it.
The Crystal Aegis 75 armor is pretty insane. One of her biggest weaknesses with Aegis is it says, "Hey guys, kill this person I just Aegis'd." And I think level 20 is a little too late to be getting armor, to keep somebody alive.
It should be 50 armor by default when you Aegis them and they come out. And then the upgrade should be 100 armor at level 20. So you have like 2 seconds of invulnerability to run away.
It's a D-shield.
Yeah.
Wait, the cap for armor is 75 though.
Yeah.
There are ways, my friend. They could work it out.
It's called invulnerable.
Yeah. Well, that's what it would be, right? You would go invulnerable for 2 seconds when you come out of the shield.
I think 25, maybe 15 to 25 armor on the initial Aegis would be, I think, okay. Especially now that she doesn't have that quick sustained healing that she used to have. I think that would be nice. And then maybe 75 with Diamond Resolve. I think that would be cool too. Or maybe Diamond Resolve, instead of giving, armor, it dealt more damage. I mean, I guess, I don't know. But,
or how about 75 armor, 20% increased damage, 3 seconds.
Well, for theory crafting level 20s here, when it make Diamond Resolve, when it explodes, it gives everybody around the explosion 50 armor.
Ooh.
Oh, that would be awesome. The people would take it.
Ariel's about to become OP if Blizzard listens to you guys.
That is insane. Ooh. Or maybe when she flies, she just you just win the game.
No, you can't because that's the problem, right? Everybody wants the flight.
The new Juice Pirates, right?
That would be kind of sick, though.
Hey, not sick. Paradox. Thanks for the raid, bud. We just got a little influx of viewers. Welcome everybody to the channel.
Right on. How's it going, man?
Next on the docket is Deckard Cain, Lornado. My favorite ultimate just got a buff. Cooldown's been reduced from 45 to 40 seconds. Level 1 Sapphire. Bonus slow amount has been increased from 25 to 30%. Level 4 Ruby. That's where you get lesser healing potions that you get from hitting heroes with your cube. The heal amount for those lesser healing potions has been increased from 190 to 205. Level 13, my favorite OP talent, of anybody. Ancient Blessings, an activatable that gives nearby heroes bonus AoE damage and healing when activated, has had its bonus damage and healing reduced by about 8%. And then level 20, Bottomless Flask, that huge power spike at 20 used to get. Healing potions would recharge after being on the ground for 5 seconds. Now it's 6 seconds. So I'm going to start with the ball here. I've been playing a lot of Deckard. I've been having a lot of fun with him. He does have his deficiencies, but
like Lornado.
Yeah. Lornado's fantastic. You can make great plays. I used to think it was a horrible ultimate too because of its cast time, but you can make amazing plays if you cast it in the direction that you're going to run when you're running away. You can run through the Lornado, right? They're trying to get to you, they can't. He's got the Lily factor that you can't kill him when he's running away, especially if he's nearby another hero. You got that kind of bait factor. I'm a little bit sad to see Ancient Blessings get nerfed here because I felt like that was like the dark horse, like OP talent. You activate your D, all of a sudden that staff of yours just hits like a truck. Not to mention everyone around you is hitting everybody and healing. We're talking about Circle Protection, Protect being OP on Medivh before. Well, this is like that for everybody for their auto attacks with Deckard. So I was loving that.
These buffs are insane. He's already so good. And then just to see these numbers, they only touch Ancient Blessings. Oh man,
I can't wait to see what happens on the 9th. Like he's gonna get picked or banned every game.
Lornado is. I'd like to stay a while and listen more initially, but Lornado is quickly becoming my favorite. So good.
It is. And stay a while is just so hard to combo unless you've got a really coordinated comp too. I've seen some Deckards use it very well, but it is that one that's so easy to interrupt to sleep, right? You gotta be very careful what you're doing there.
I was taking Sapphire anyways, and that just to increase that bonus load.
He did not need that, really.
He did not, dude. He did not. They're rooted in place. They're rooted in place for that duration, and if you combo that with the triangle, they're just rooted again. Like,
I gotta play that. I was going.
I'm winning all my games with Deckard.
So I gotta try the Sapphire out now that they've buffed it too. I stayed away from the gems. Was my build. I just went, just the easier play build. But I'll have to play around with Goon Sapphires. Okay, Lily's next up. Lily got some changes. Wind Serpent level 1 no longer reduces the cooldown of Cloud Serpent. Level 1 Eager Adventurer. Fast feet duration bonus increased from 50 to 100%, and mana regeneration bonus reduced from 150 to 100%. Level 4 Safety Sprint. Not only does it give an instant faster feet for 3 seconds, it will now also passively increase fast feet's base move speed bonus from 10% to 15%, making it a little bit faster on those feet. Level 16 Blessings of Yulon. The Cloud Serpent healing bonus has been reduced from 1.5 to 1.25% of maximum health. So Mystic, what's going on with Lily here?
I think what Blizzard is doing here is, they see Lily's win rate and they're taking away some of those brain dead talents, I guess, where they're just
listen, Wind Serpent was never a brain dead talent, okay? The rest of them maybe.
Isn't the problem that Lily's supposed to be the brain dead healer? You just like mash your head on the keyboard and you get value, right?
I suppose that's true, but yeah, now they're like they buffed the safety sprint one where it gives a little bit more here, and yeah, I don't know, like they just took a few things away from Lily, and that's all I can say about it, really.
What do you think about Lily, Goon?
I think it's all right. The cooldown, removing the cooldown reduction, I think the base cooldown reduction I think is good. She's putting out a lot more damage with that extra blind that the dragon was throwing out. More blinds, more damage mitigation, and it was kind of taxing on her mana a little bit. But.
I feel like this is 4 of us who don't play Lily because we're like, she's a boring hero.
No.
At least that's what I feel.
Lily. I love Lily. Lily's my go-to healer in Hero League.
That's because you're
I
a
like
tank
playing
name.
Lily.
You don't play healers, so you got to play the easy
one. Also that.
I will
She's
say
fun to play.
The level 16 nerf is awkward because, in my opinion, that's the only good talent at that tier. The other 2 talents that have some conditions that either you don't want to take or you don't necessarily want to be meeting all the time. One is you throw 2 cups, but the cooldowns increase on your Q, or if the person's below 50% health, the cups heal 33% more. Well, why can't I just throw a dragon on somebody, have the dragon auto attack, and just heal them, and that's the end of that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
makes it too easy apparently. Okay, Lieutenant Morales. Level 4 trauma trigger was a passive that gave her 30 armor for 3 seconds when you dip below 40% health. The cooldown on this has been reduced from 60 to 30 seconds. Reminds me of Raynor getting that kind of boost to his passive, like health boost they used to get. Level 16 extended care. The range bonus for your healing beam has been reduced from 40 to 30%. So Goon.
Wah, wah.
Is this going to change the way you play Morales? Especially that level 4 seems pretty potent.
Considering the other support changes that we'll get into here in a little bit, I won't feel bad playing Morales. The 30 armor every 30 seconds is nice. Before it was every minute. So if I got dove on like during the laning phase, if I'm playing Braxis, I'm playing Lieutenant Morales, I don't have that trauma trigger up all the time. Every 30 seconds, I have it up more consistently. I'm safer, and I'm not punished as often for picking Morales, right? The extended care, the range bonus, I think that's a nerf more so for lower levels of play where, coordinating to get on the Morales in that back line doesn't really happen all the time or consistently enough to punish, to kill a Morales. But I think the trauma trigger passive is actually pretty good buff. And we'll probably see more Morales in the hero leagues because of it, and because Malfurion and Stukov got nerfed, but we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah, I could see this being a big buff, especially in lower leagues where there is less coordination on the dive, like you said before, too, because if you get any sort of dive, that trauma trigger is more likely to be up, giving that extra 30 armor. Okay, Garrosh is next. Garrosh had Groundbreaker change. The stun duration has been reduced to from 0.75 seconds to 0.5 seconds. Pretty substantial amount of time there. But the slow amount has been increased from 35 to 40%. And then level 16, Rough Landing. The bonus slow amount you get for Groundbreaker has been reduced from 15 to 10%. Blizzard says, hey, we don't like this combo where you throw them over your shoulder, then slam them, make it pretty much impossible to get away. They want to change that, give a little bit more counterplay. LiQuiD, what do you think?
Wait, that's not really what...
You can disagree with me.
I'm confused, because why do you think... all they're doing is keeping the total number of speed slow the same. So is it that, or was it the stun duration that makes you think...
Stun duration's down, so you can't throw them over your shoulder and then stun them for longer. Gives you more chances to pop like a survivability talent to get out of that.
Okay.
You're still slowed, so it's still hard to get
all
out
right.
of that.
I got what you're saying now. I'm just making sure I understood what you were...
Yeah, no
because
problem.
I was confused. All right, so
you're just killing
my
30 seconds of the minute timer, bud.
right? That's all right. It's all right. It happens. Blizzard, quit taking my stuns away. Signed, everyone that likes to stun people. This is the same as the Valyria nerfs. It's the same as the original Diablo nerfs. It's the same, like every week, the same shit to a different hero, man. Stop taking my stuns away. That needs to be longer. It's like the variant change. Oh my God, it's the variant change all over. But Garrosh, at least we can say they're treating both faction leaders the same.
LiQuiD, I
Nerfs
want
the
to play
hoarding.
the game. Signed, everybody who doesn't like to get stunned.
Listen, man, I understand that getting stunned kind of sucks, but you're either the stunner or the stunny, and I like to be the stunner.
Yeah. All right, Sonya got a few changes too. She's the last one we're going to be talking about here before we get into our next segment. Level 4 Hurricane, passive whirlwind cooldown reduction has been increased from 1 to 2 seconds. Shot of Fury has been moved from level 7 to level 4, and Battle Rage has been moved from level 4 to level 7. A little swap of talents there. Level 13 Mystical Spear. Ancient Spear always pulls Sonya to the target location even if it doesn't hit an enemy. When used this way, its cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds. That's the new part to that. LiQuiD, Mr. Sonya one trick.
This is awesome.
Tell me about Sonya. Go.
I like the Mystical Spear change because damn, I'm going to move across that map now. It's like Junkrat almost. To be fair, I have not played her since they dropped. I was working all night last night and I haven't had a chance yet today. But I actually kind of dig this change on paper. I think it's really interesting. The Hurricane one is fine. I'm not sure how I feel about the Shot of Fury and Battle Rage swap. I think I'm okay with it, but I need to play with it a little bit more to really decide how I feel about it.
It's
That
either
took
you
me by
take Battle Rage or you take Poison Spear. What's it gonna be?
I know. I mean, I'm a Poison Spear guy all the way, unless well, it depends, right? If there's enough squishies, it's Poison Spear. But if it's more like...
But that Poison Spear is more like, I need a Pepto Spear now, right? Because it's been nerfed so many times.
No, dude. It's
still pretty good.
Chunk out a mage with that spear, bro. Like, we were playing in our Bush League game. Oh, no, it wasn't, because I didn't get to play Sonya. In the game right before our Bush League game. In the game right before our Bush League game, I played Sonya. And the Jaina we were facing, spear into slam, dude, that was like 60% of her health, no question. She had to immediately leave because she was basically ready to get chunked the rest of the way. So no, it's spear's awesome.
Does this allow Sonya to go through walls?
Yes.
Okay.
Like
she'll hit the wall
over
though.
terrain, over
terrain.
over
Okay.
terrain.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But not a wall.
buildings or
But no, I
So
use that all the time. Dragon Shrine, Dragon Shire. If you're on the opposite side of the what do you call it camp? The Knights camp. You just spear through and you take them out real fast. So yeah.
LiQuiud knows. He does like actually one trick Sonya. Like
Oh hell yeah, I do. It's awesome. I love one tricking Sonya. And then after
Interesting
Tuesday,
change.
it's gonna be one trick Sonya, one trick Diablo. If they would buff Vala, I would be in a happy place, man. I would just play Vala, Sonya, Diablo, and Karazim, and my world would be complete.
Vala buffs has got to be coming. But I mean, we've seen nerfs to all these other heroes like Hanzo.
Right.
The nerfs to Hanzo may be stealth buffs to Vala, right? Because everyone always says
Right.
Hanzo is the Vala replacement. Well, guess what? Hanzo's range isn't nearly as impressive as it used to be.
You know, it's kind of funny. I was playing Vala the other day, and it was almost as if the enemy team had no idea what Vala's abilities were. It was just like, has it really been that long?
Yeah. She never sees
Sleeper.
play anymore.
Okay, we're going to move into our main segment, which is the Troll in the Nexus. We're going to have 5 minutes to talk about each of the following topics. And at the end, we're going to talk about our big announcement that we've been teasing for the last little while here. On the docket here, we've got Kael'Thas Changes, Stukov Changes, Malfurion Changes, which we didn't talk about in our quick patch note splits because we wanted to spend a little bit more time on them. LiQuiud would kill me if we didn't have a chance to talk about the incoming Diablo rework, so we're going to talk about that. Ferociously Steph has launched FemmeFerocity. We'll be discussing that for 5 minutes. Spectacular Wrestling, the new event coming up. We've seen some teasers for that. We're going to talk about that. Confidence in game and how it affects performance. And then finally, the Torch. So starting with the first one, Kael'Thas Changes. I'll go over the changes and then we'll start the timer. Level 4. And I'm going to be leaning on you guys. I don't play a lot of Kael'Thas. Level 4, Energy Royal. Reduces the cooldown of Gravity Lapse by 9 seconds when hitting a hero. It now also passively reduces the mana cost of Gravity Lapse by 70. Level 7, Sunfire Enchantment. Next auto attack will do bonus spell damage after activating your trait. It now does less damage, like less bonus spell damage, but you get 2 empowered basic attacks instead of 1. And then also, if you hit 2 enemy heroes with empowered basic attacks, you get 15% spell power for 10 seconds. Hella important on Kael'Thas. Level 13, Pyromaniac. Cooldowns reduction applied per tick of Living Bomb damage decreased from 1 to 0.5 seconds. Level 16, he's got a new talent, Ignite. Flame strikes that hit enemy heroes also afflict them with Living Bomb. But don't worry, guys, if you've got Kael'Thas from the beta, nightmares still go on with spreads of Living Bomb. Only 1 Living Bomb can be applied per Flame Strike cast. I don't know how they decide which one it goes on. And then level 20, Presence of Mind. Hitting enemy heroes with Pyroblast no longer reduces his cooldown. Heroes who are hit with Flame Strike or have Living Bomb spread to them now reduce the cooldown of Pyroblast by 10 seconds if you take that level 20 upgrade. Okay, so that's that. Who wants to start the discussion on Kael'Thas? Because not it.
Kael'Thas is awesome now.
Mystic, I know you play Kael'Thas. Talk to me, bud.
Play Kael'Thas.
How does this impact Kael'Thas? What's changed with him here? How is he going to be different? How should I play against him differently?
See, there's some of these changes that I don't know, like how to think about these. So, at level 4, the Energy Royal, I think it's actually good now. Like, you can use it, so when your Gravity Lapse hits a hero, reduce its cooldown by 9 seconds, which means that another one is going to be coming out fairly soon. If you hit one person, if you hit 2 people, then, another one's coming out. So I think that's pretty good. You know, increased talent diversity there. The Sunfire enchantment, I took this talent a lot actually, and I think this is a pretty good change. Like the damage reduction is a little bit, but now you can do it twice. You kind of have to position a little bit better because you need to position for not only the first attack, but the second attack too, and then the spells after, because you know you want to get that 15% spell power value in there.
Does that lead to like a new combo with Kael'Thas then? Like trade attack, living bomb, flame strike, boom, you're dead kind of thing? Like 15% bonus spell power to all that? Because like Kael'Thas is all about like coming up hitting with a combo, right? With your gravity laps, your flame strikes, and your living bombs. But now you can potentially get 15% more damage out of the spell power out of your living bombs and your flame strikes if you hit those 2 auto attacks first after hitting your D, right?
Yeah, I think realistically it will be trait, attack, living bomb, attack, and then the rest of your spells.
Well, the nice thing about the living bomb is, I guess, because like the spell power from the explosion of your living bomb will, even if you cast your living bomb first, if you have that 15%, and you get it after you cast it before it blows up, you'll still get that 50% bonus, because whenever the damage is applied is when the bonus is checked, right, in the programming logic. So like you still would get the 15% bonus from that first living bomb if you do the combo correctly, I guess.
Yeah, and then the level 13 one, I mean, I thought it was really strong. I personally thought it was stronger than the other ones, so they nerfed it here, and I'm kind of sad about that, but it was a very strong talent. And then level 16, this is where it starts to get like, because this is actually a really good talent. It's just, I don't know if it's better than double flame strike, is the thing. So I think they're both good. I think you can argue both. If you're going for the Pyroblast with the new level 20, I think this one's better. But I'm not sure if I would take this one over the double flame strike, you know, just in damage scenarios.
Schizo and Chad did clarify too, the living bomb is applied to the person closest to the center of the flame strike. Problem solved.
Also, he made a good point with the bug yesterday. It's really hard to judge how powerful Kael'Thas is.
What's the bug?
There was something about like it was resetting the cooldown, so he was pyroblasting like non-stop.
His level 20 talent was active when you took Pyroblast at 10.
There you go. That.
Wow. Level 20 upgrade at 10, eh?
It's fixed. It's fixed now, though. There was a hot fix today. So.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, that's too bad. It would have been time for me to level up Kael'Thas, but it feels bad.
Like, here's the thing. Kael'Thas used to be strong, and it was only because others were stronger that he kind of dropped out. It wasn't like he got slightly nerfed, but it wasn't the nerf that really did him in. So, I think we'll actually see him start to get more pro play with these changes.
The one thing about Kael'Thas that a lot of assassins don't have is that stun, like in his basic kit, and that's one thing I always thought made him really strong. Potentially, like had the potential to be really strong compared to some of the other mages, because you could assist in the lockdown. And that's one thing I always hated playing against the Kael'Thas is you get stuck in that gravity lapse and like blown to hell, and it felt really bad. Whereas the other ones, you can just, you can walk out of where you think Chromie's going to hit, or you can walk out of the Jaina Blizzard, but you don't really have the option if he's good at hitting those gravity blasts. Goon, do you like playing Kael'Thas?
Kael'Thas is actually my favorite mage in the game, but it has been so long since I've played him. I was playing him back when Ignite was first introduced. Like, that was the last time I played him. When they took that out, I was like, dead hero to me. Dead hero. I like the level 4 talent change. All the talents at that tier are some sort of mana management. There's some mana reduction talents there. Energy Royal was good because of the cooldown reduction. Unfortunately, though, you didn't get mana back. And if you had your gravity lapse back up sooner, you were expending more mana to cast more gravity lapses, and before you knew, you were out of mana and you couldn't deal damage. You just had CC. Now, this is like probably just as good as the increased range. Like I said earlier, if there's like a Greymane that's jumping on you, or a Diablo wants to charge you and get in your face, you can gravity lapse him, leave back up. He wants to keep chasing. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's some damage while you're at it.
The Oprah of gravity lapses.
Yeah. And you're not, expending that mana. But the Sunfire enchantment, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one right now. I don't like having to step up and hit the opponents with 2 auto attacks to get that spell power. It puts you in a risky position. But I don't know. We'll see. More testing is required. But I do like Ignite. The Living Bomb that is applied from the Ignite counts towards the Pyromaniac as well. So that's another, that's some more cooldown reduction that you're getting. But yeah, don't pick Pyroblast.
Hopefully Kael'Thas doesn't come back into the meta. I don't want to have to deal with that. Okay, next thing we're going to be talking about is the changes to Stukov. Bio Kill Switch, his trait, the healing has been reduced by 8.5%. That's huge. Lurking Arm cooldown has been increased from 8 to 10 seconds. Level 1 Growing Infestation, which I always love taking. That's one that gives you Lurking Arm that grows to a larger size. It gives you an additional cooldown also on it. It used to be 4 seconds, but now it's an additional 5 seconds. Now you're looking at 15-second cooldown on your Lurking Arm if you take that talent, as opposed to before it was just 12. Level 4, One Good Spread. After hitting 3 targets with healing with your your Q, your pathogen, healing pathogen cooldown would be increased by 2 seconds, and mana restored. Mana restoration reduced from 30 to 10 now, so it's been nerfed further.
Huge.
Yes. Level 7, it hungers. On level 4, I actually do like taking the questing talent personally, but level 7, it hungers. Each hero hit by Lurking Arm reduces the cooldown of Lurking Arm and restores mana. The mana restoration has been increased from 5 to 10, so you get a little bit of mana back there. So, Stukov. I'm going to start here a little bit because I've been playing a lot of Stukov and seeing him in the meta. I mean, I feel like nerfs were probably warranted given how much of an S-tier healer he's been. You almost take him first pick and no one would really cry foul at that because of how strong he was compared to a lot of the other healers. But I'm seeing 8.5 healing reduction and nerfs to all these talents. This is gonna hurt hard, especially like growing infestation. If you take that now, you're looking at 15-second cooldown on your silences. You gotta be using those effectively. You can't just throw those out because you think you need to clear a minion wave or whatever. You gotta use them effectively.
Right. Yeah.
I think anyone who used to take One Good Spread maybe should take a look to see if you like the other talent that's the questing talent to give you 50% additional healing. That could mitigate this healing reduction of 8.5% that he's been just nerfed with. It does come up to later game. You usually get the talent, like the questing talent finished somewhere between 10 and 16, so it is a bit of a later game pick that you're taking early. You're investing into that later game, but oh man, once you get that, his healing numbers are off the chart. They're still gonna be good. And then that's what my take is on him. What do you guys think? Anyone have anything else to add to Stukov here? Is he gonna be first pickish?
The biggest hit is at level 4, that One Good Spread. So that was already nerfed before. Before you used to get, if I'm not mistaken, you used to get full mana return back if you hit 4 heroes, and then they reduced the requirement to 3 heroes, and that's including yourself. And then they say, okay, but now you get 30 mana back, so you're still losing 10 mana, right? Now you only get 10 mana back, and that's huge. That's huge. A lot of his sustain comes from that talent, being able to just spread Qs, get the mana, get the cooldown reduction, spread Q again, and without even popping the trait, you can just spread the Qs all day. And then now you spread your Qs and you lose a lot of that mana. So now you're like, do I want to spend mana on using a Lurking Arm, shooting out my W, or spreading a heal? I don't think the other talents at that tier are any good. This is a terrible change. They should just make the talents at that tier better, in my opinion. But yeah, I think we're going to see a lot less Stukov in general play. A lot of people could just pick up Stukov and, like you were saying, press E to clear a minion wave, spam Qs and press D every once in a while, sustain the team. Now we're going to be seeing more methodical, more thought out. Like Stukov's going to be like Deckard Cain now, where it's like, okay, if I know what I'm doing, I'm going to carry my team. If I'm just playing Stukov because Malfurion got picked, probably not. but I don't know.
I feel like the healing reduction was all that was needed here. Like something had to be done because he was so much stronger, like generally than all the other healers, just across the board. But now with all these other changes too, it makes it harder, like you said, to play him, I think, effectively. I think that's going to be the real challenge for any Stukov mains.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that burst, that feels bad. And that was already nerfed. That was already nerfed too, right? Before in the past.
Yeah, I believe so. Just recently,
it was.
So, Mystic, what do you think about Stukov changes here?
I think some of these are needed here. I don't know. So the BIOS kill switch healing, is probably needed. The one good spread, I mean, it was a strong talent. Yeah, it could have been hit. I don't know if it needed to be hit this hard, but. And then the other ones, I think the other ones were needed just because, like, the growing infestation, just because the silence is actually really huge. And I think, like, Stukov, he needed a nerf to his healing a bit, but that silence field is just really strong, and I really think it should cost some mana to, like, sustain instead of just keeping it there. But maybe that's just me.
Does this talent at level 7... it hungers, I know it restores mana. Does it cap at a certain point, or do you, like, if somebody were to stay in there forever, you would just restore all your mana back?
Yeah, I think you just, if anybody's being hit by you just
and it's every
gain
tick,
mana.
It's
just every tick. As long as someone's in there, you just get mana.
I have some ideas now.
What, you're just
all
to,
of
get all
Stukov's
your
mana problems out the window.
Spirit level 7. So what healer should I be going to? Like, Stukov is my go-to. Like, with the nerfs to Stukov, nerfs to Malfurion.
Lili.
Job's done.
Lili? That's not the answer I want to hear.
Just tell me,
we'll go over these Malfurion changes, and I'll tell you who you should be going for.
Okay, good. You got the answer, Goon. I can't wait to hear it. So let's talk Malfurion changes. Malfurion's health and regen reduced by 4%, Moonfire healing reduced by 4%, and Twilight Dream damage reduced by 13%. Sorry, guys, looking to carry with that damage off Twilight Dream. Ain't happening no more. Okay, Goon. What's going on with Malfurion?
He has been steadily just been nerfed over the past, couple months, few months.
His rework,
after his rework, right? His rework did a lot of good for the hero. Everyone started playing him, enjoying him, and having a lot of success with him, with both Twilight Dream and Tranquility. Now, I mean, I think he's still gonna be good. He's still gonna be good in the right scenario. I think on maps like Volskaya, where people are stacking up on a point and you can get consistent Moonfires on more than one target. Maybe now you're looking to maybe land it on two to three targets. What you're looking for now, but gone are the days where you had Stukov and Malfurion, just pick them because they're good. You're going to win with them no matter what. They just fill everything perfectly nicely. They have damage. Go ahead.
It does work. You just have to pick Stukov and Malfurion.
Double healer.
I still think the utility from Twilight Dream is very good. A lot of people, yes, they like Twilight Dream because of the damage it deals. It's still good damage, but silencing a whole team for a few seconds is pretty strong. That's an ancestral that's not going to land. That's a divine shield that Uther's not going to be able to hit. That's a mosh pit that you just canceled. Like, it's still a good talent. But yeah, I think this, again, I say this for every patch, at the highest levels of play, he's still going to be pretty okay. In lower levels of play, it's one of those, can we kill Malfurion? Probably not. Can we kill anybody? Probably not. And Malfurion's going to get a lot of value. It's just not going to feel as bad because he's getting infinite value.
Yeah, comparing the Stukov nerfs to the Malfurion nerfs, I think Stukov got hit significantly harder here because his healing reduced by 8.5% on his D, which is his main healing source, right? Whereas Malfurion's only by 4%. Plus, Stukov got hit on a lot of his popular talent choices as well, whereas Malfurion only really got hit on the Twilight Dream if you go that route. So have we seen like the Stukov Malfurion meta, maybe the Stukov is going to be below the Malfurion now in terms of priority? Like, how would you choose between those two if you're picking?
How would I choose between those two if I were picking? It depends on what the rest of my team composition look like. If I have great, strong initiation, and I know I can get a silence to cancel to make sure this guy does not drop a bunker or this guy does not drop a divine shield, or there's an important ability that I'm trying to deny from the enemy team, I'm probably gonna go with the Stukov. If I'm just looking to just sustain in these skirmishes over a long period of time because the type of damage that they have, you know, maybe we've got like a Rainer or, I don't know, Lunar. We've got some kind of sustained damage where we're fighting on a point for an extended period of time. I'm going to look more towards Malfurion. Whereas both of these heroes were kind of interchangeable. It was a matter of, you know, who wanted to take what, you know. But yeah, that's what I think anyways.
Is this the point where we talk about now the top healer that we should be looking at here? Like, where should we go into? What's the Goon secret, the secret sauce, Goon?
The Goon secret is now. I mean, we saw Morales get a little buff, right? We saw that. We saw Ariel get some little changes, get some little love, and we saw these two badasses just get nerfed. Now, you can go almost whatever you want without getting flamed because these two guys have been nerfed.
Right? They've been nerfed so hard that it's
The
like
secret is there's no secret.
there's no secret, right?
no secret.
Exactly.
Have we
I'm
reached,
always angry.
we reached perfect healer balance? Is that
I don't know
All the
about perfect.
All the healers are bad.
Close.
That's the secret.
They're all pretty, like, now it feels bad to play support unless it's Decker Kane. If you're playing Decker Kane and you know what's going on, you're going to carry easy. No, I now it's like, hey, do they have a lot of CC? I need somebody with cleanse. Who has cleanse and who can mitigate a lot of burst damage? Uther, Rhaegar in some scenarios. Okay. Oh, hey, I've got a strong melee front line, and you know I've got a Garrosh that's taking a lot of damage, and I want to finish somebody up. Maybe I go Rhaegar. He's got a cleanse. He's got ancestral. He deals some pretty good damage. He's got bite. Maybe I go Monk and gets 3 cleanses. Maybe I look to get a palm or something like that. Now. You know, like what's
because Cho'Gall's on the other
Job's done.
team.
Because before now it's just like, oh, they have a lot of stuns. I don't care. I'm going Stukov. Like, I don't need a cleanse.
See, I should put some thought into your draft now, as opposed to just picking the OP healer. Okay, I like it. So situationally is the way you go about picking healers from now on. Goon said it here. Okay, LiQuiud, your time to shine, bud. We're about to talk about the incoming Diablo rework. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, you can head over to Blizz Heroes YouTube channel. Check out what is incoming for Diablo. This sounds like it's coming out with this whole circus wrestling themed patch that's going to be hitting shortly. No date confirmed.
It's not a circus wrestling patch.
Whatever.
It's amazing.
Okay, whatever. This amazing patch is coming with Lenara, Sonya, Garrosh, and Diablo looking all like Mexican wrestling up. Anyways, that's where we're probably going to see the Diablo rework. Luchadors, right? I knew there was a word for it. I just didn't have it on the tip of my tongue. Anyways, Diablo, what's happened to him? Fire Stomp is not going out in a circle around Diablo anymore. It's going to be shot out in a cone, and then it's going to come back to him. Triple damage on the way back. You're going to get heals from the damage that's being done as well. And you can actually talent into Fire Stomp resets. You watch the video, there's just stomps going off all over the place because you can talent in getting a reset on your flips, on your charges. So crazy amount of fire going to be coming out of Diablo. Shadow Charge no longer grants armor baseline. Sounds like you can talent into it. You definitely can talent into it. However, it does grant movement speed. So you slam someone in a wall, you can move around a little bit faster as Diablo. I didn't see from the shadows in level 4, important note, but you guys were telling me off camera. Sounds like that's going to be baked in, Goon. What are you telling me about that? The extended range on his Q?
Yeah, some of that range from that talent's removed, but some of that range from that talent is going to be just put into his baseline Q.
So that's good news for those who like to take the extended range to get into trouble, or do those crazy like long distance engages. On level 4, we did get a couple of interesting ones they talked about in the video too.
So hold on, I like we're in your notes, but the timer's not running. I mean, I can talk about Diablo the whole show. I don't mind. I'm just.
He's like,
You're
let
being
me get that
stingy.
timer set up. Let me get that timer
There
set.
you go. I shaved a minute off just for you, LiQuiuD.
That's just wrong, man. That's
Just being
just wrong. I
sticky.
try to do the right thing.
You want me to
and I
show
get
off another
punished
minute? Because
for
I'll
it.
do it. I got the button right here.
I will turn this button around.
I feel like we loosely use the timer anyways. Okay, at level 4, we've got 2 different talents too that they talk about in the video. There's Sacrificial Soul. So you can actually get souls and armor when you charge a hero into terrain. And the more souls you have, the higher that armor is going to be. We don't know what the numbers are, but that's still an interesting talent choice. And then the other one there is Souls to the Flame. This is where Fire Stomp will grant souls and heal more, and you get more healing the more souls you have. So I imagine you do that coupled with all these kind of crazy Fire Stomp resets, you're gonna have a lot of self-sustain as Diablo. So LiQuiuD, you like this rework? You sound pretty excited about it, bud.
Talk about. All right, first, when I watched the video with my wife, she's like, "Oh, thank God, Fire Stomp needed to be done. That was the stupidest skill in the game." So I actually tend to agree with her. I'm so much happier about not having the little circle coming out, but like it actually being a cone that comes back and you can play with it a little bit more. Plus the 3 times damage on it coming back is awesome because you set up those spikes if you know what you're doing. So I'm super excited about all of this. Like every change to Diablo, I like. I definitely feel like Sacrificial Souls is the way to go. But can we talk about that movement speed? There are times where you charge someone, and if you don't quite get them into the wall, they move, and they move just a little bit quicker than you. Now you'll be able to grab them and flip them again and be like, you're not getting away that easy. Oh, my God. So amazing.
Or if you're like me
Diablo,
and you totally muff up, you can get out of dodge a lot faster.
Yeah. I'm so psyched. I can't wait to play it. I'm like, Blizzard, I want it now. Please.
So
wait, I shouldn't be talking about this though. Fringe is still here, isn't he? So he's gonna go to ban Diablo. Yeah, that's not cool.
I think the coolest thing about this rework, there's still a whole lot of information that we're not, that we don't have. We're missing a bunch of talents and stuff. But the coolest thing that I think, the healthiest thing that I think is going to happen to Diablo is you can now get souls outside of farming minions for 10 minutes.
God, you need that. Like late game death on Diablo sucks so bad because you're out of souls and you're like, in fact, the other couple weeks ago we were playing and I was actually on Diablo and I died at like 16. I'm like, sorry guy, I got to go farm souls. And I was soaking for like, I don't know, 6 or 7 minion waves because I was trying to build my souls back.
Yeah. And it's like, as Diablo, you want to get in there. You want to fight.
Right.
You want to skirmish. You want to brawl. You want to suplex some guys. You want to sit there killing minions.
Yeah, right?
And
like Fire Stomp, kill it, whack a couple minions. No, it sucks.
So now you can start feeding from level 1, baby, all the way to 20.
All the way.
You're looking
all
to go.
the way.
You're looking
Most
to go
that's
in.
Diablo right here, baby. No, the other thing that I thought was really cool, and I hope this wasn't just like video magic, but was like is something they did. It looks like they updated the artwork for Lightning Breath, and it looked amazing at the end of that video. So I'm hoping that's actually something they did, and it'll be in there.
And worth taking just for the new changes to the animation.
No, APOC's still the way to go. But it depends, right?
It depends on if they changed it or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, there was a comment on the Reddit. I don't know if this is at 20 or if this is at 10, but they said there is a ramping slow on Lightning Breath now.
Ooh.
So
I think that's
sick.
exactly what it needed.
Yes.
okay.
Well, you're on fire.
The
You gotta
longer
slow
you're
down
in
a
it,
little
the
bit.
slower you are. Yes, that's exactly what you needed out of it. That's awesome.
That's insane.
I think Goon brought up a good
oh my
point
Job's
God.
done.
a little earlier in the discussion too. Like, we don't have any of the information. We can't just assume this is all
Right.
buffs across the board because Diablo's already strong. When Blizzard giveth, Blizzard also taketh away, and it'll be interesting to
Hey.
see where
Usually
they
get a
take it
week.
away.
Usually get a week before they take it away.
50% health nerf. It's like, oh, sad LiQuiuD. Like, you don't know. Like, maybe he's gonna have less health. Maybe there's gonna be some less damage baseline, or souls do less. Like,
All right. I'm not gonna. If they take away 50% of Diablo's health, I will be giving away
down to
all of my
Chromie levels.
Diablo minis
Ooh.
when we're at BlizzCon this year.
All right, you heard it here, guys.
All
like,
of them.
Sounds like a promise to me. Blizzard, you want them to give those away because I want one. Okay. Next up, FemmeFerocity. So Ferociously Steph went out on Twitter and Reddit yesterday, 2 days ago, and she put out a
If it was
post.
2 days ago, we would have talked about it on trolling.
She's creating
People. Wait, hold on. People, if you have esports announcements, make them Tuesdays before 7:30 Eastern so we can talk about them on trolling.
You should try and get Ferociously Steph on. She'd be an interesting guest, I think, for trolling. Anyways, that's besides the point. What she's done is she's created a new team. It's going to be an open division team. And the goal is to be a feminine coded roster trying to break into professional HOTS league play. The idea is she wants to champion a cultural shift that will allow talented women equal access to professional play in esports. As we all know, there's always been barriers for women getting into esports in general, not just in HOTS. And if you don't recognize the name Ferociously Steph, she was the one who was talking about, you know, the potential downfalls of voice chat pretty vocally around the turn of the new year. And she is also a very vocal advocate for women in esports too. So this is a very touchy subject. We're looking at, you know, 4 males trying to discuss this. We obviously have never been in that
Maybe we should
situation
move past it.
before, but what do you guys think about what Steph's doing here? Does anyone want to take this?
I think one thing that they need is a really good like media manager or something, because there was, I'm pretty sure I talked about this before, but there was a team in League of Legends that wanted to do something very similar to this. They were called Team Siren.
Yep.
Yeah, but the controversy behind that is like they made this video like trying to promote their team or something, and it ended up just being like a disaster because the video was just showing off some like weird things that didn't have anything to do with like League of Legends or any of that or stuff like that, and it was just people just laughed at them. So they became known as the team that, you know, yeah, sure they were female, but they were a laughing stock because of this video. So it's like
yeah, I think it's a good way of attracting, you know, those what are they, feminine coded individuals to competitive esports. I know there are a lot of people, a lot of, you know, females that do play the game, enjoy the game, and do want to play at a higher level, but are probably afraid to for whatever reason, for their own reasons. And I think this is a good way to motivate them to participate. You know, anybody can. Hey, you can make a team with whoever you want. Make an open division. It doesn't matter. You know, if you want to make a team, go right ahead. And this is open for anybody. This is open for everybody. From what I've read, it's not just for females. You know, if a male wants to play, they're not gonna push anybody out that doesn't, you know.
Yeah, I just want to say I applaud Ferociously Steph for like putting this idea out there and championing it, because I mean she's not a stranger to controversy, and this is going to draw a lot of fire from a lot of people that, you know, maybe are taking the wrong side of it and don't understand what she's trying to do here. And whenever you try and put yourself out on the internet, you always have that danger of having people flame you for what you're trying to do. Right. And this is a very noble cause, and I think she's got a very good idea behind it. I think Mystic's got a good point. Like, you're going to need a very strong PR presence to make sure that you can make sure that it does send the right message and it doesn't become like the League of Legends team you were talking about before, like a laughing stock. Like, that would detract from what you're trying to accomplish. But if anyone can do it, I think Steph can. I've watched her stream quite a bit. If you're not familiar with Ferocious Steph, she used to go by Oddish as well. She's a great streamer, and I definitely suggest you check out her stream because she's an amazing player and an amazing individual as well.
Yeah, this is an org, right, that wants to get into esports and wants to be, you know, HGC level. So, you know, with that being said, hey, if you can throw down and kick some ass, let's see it. You know, that's for anybody. That's for any team, really.
Yeah.
But that's where I stand.
I'd love to see them do well, and I really hope they do, because I think there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on whatever team they decide to field here, and if it isn't competitive, it's going to naturally draw a lot of fire, like unwantedly so too. And it's going to draw away from what they're trying to accomplish, which is unfortunate, but that's probably what will end up happening. So I'm really rooting for them. Good on you, Ferociously Steph, definitely for championing this cause.
Yeah, real quick, I said this on Troll and HGC the other day. You know, this current HGC season, off season, all the changes that are being made, all the roster, swaps, all this stuff. There's a lot of room for a lot of talented players to make their way in. There's so much room available for everybody, and this is, hey, if you got what it takes, go out there, give it a shot, and who knows, you might be surprised. Maybe whatever was GFE picks up some of these players. Who knows?
Even
well,
if
not
this...
to mention, right? Like, we still have promotion relegation, so it's not going away. So
yeah,
so bring it, right? Like, come and show what you have, and don't be one of the teams that breaks up after the first loss in the first week of Open Division. Push through that.
And even if this gives some people an outlet to get into professional esports or even the amateur esports scene that didn't have the opportunity before because of gender barrier, like, I think they've done their job.
Right.
It's been notoriously difficult. I'm sure there's a lot of women out there who have been having that issue, that barrier getting into it, and this might be that opportunity for them to showcase their talent as well. Okay, let's move along to the next topic. We've got spectacular wrestling. There was a Twitter gift tease that they had a few of, actually, on Blizzard Heroes. One of them was in Spanish, and it loosely translates to something like spectacular wrestling, get ready for it, or something like that. They had the three that they had one GIF up with Lunara and Sonya, dressed up kind of like, what was the word for it, LiQuid? Matadores? Luchadors. Matadores. Wow, I'm going to have a lot of emails about that one. And then the other one was Diablo and Garrosh, and then they also had one of a cute little puppy. So it sounds like the puppy mount's coming along with all those skins. Perhaps an event. It looks like Diablo rework is going to be launching with that, and there's some rumblings of a Lunara rework. I don't think that's been confirmed, though, at least not that I've heard, coming out with this.
I think if the Lunara rework was coming, they would have talked about it with the Diablo video, maybe, unless they did a Sonya and did they do a separate Sonya and Medivh one, or were they all compiled into one video?
I can't remember. They haven't done all the, like, I mean, maybe they have now since we've gone live with the show, but they hadn't finished with the Twitter reveals yet. So maybe they're still like in the process. Maybe they will be releasing another Lunara rework video coming out here. They've talked about Lunara reworks in the past. We know one's coming. We just don't know the time of it. Like, that's been officially talked about in some of these videos in the past. I think maybe about a month ago. So we know one's coming. We see the new Lunara skins. It's like, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a lot of fingers pointing in that direction. A lot of fingers pointing in that direction. So maybe that's what we'll get. Maybe we can talk about Lunara. Like, what do we want from a Lunara rework even? Like, I don't even know where you'd start with reworking Lunara. Would you change how she is as a hero? What do you think? What would you do, Goon? How would you change Lunara if you were Blizzard?
Let's see.
Give her more range.
I think maybe, I don't know. That's a tough question, because like I like how she plays. I just wish that her splintered spear wasn't like, okay, maybe that's a bad way of looking at it. I don't want to say maybe her splintered spear is too powerful. Maybe the other talents of that tier aren't as good, but I think maybe upping her attack damage up just a little bit, and maybe keeping the poison damage the same, or making splintered spear maybe baseline, but you have to hit a target. You have to hit heroes, and it only splits to 2 heroes or something like that. I think would probably, and then you that opens up options for more creative talents later on in the tree. But she has a lot of interesting and cool talents. You just don't see them a whole lot because they're not that good.
One thing I know that they've mentioned that they want to change is her Wisp talent tier, because that feels like almost like a dead talent tier in a lot of ways, where you have to choose a Wisp talent. I'm imagining they're probably going to shuffle those around a bit, maybe make the Wisp talents a little more interesting. Maybe you'll make like a man-eating Wisp, so you can send it out and it'll actually do auto attack damage.
I would like to see the Wisp probably be like a Zul's bone armor. It's just you press 1, you activate your Wisp, and it goes around and does something, and maybe at level 1 you can talent it to move faster or something like that.
That would be pretty cool.
And then you have room for another ability on her E other than Wisp.
Or how cool would it be if her wisps were kind of like Zagara creep, that you could send out more than one at a time? So you could send out like a few. You can pump in a bunch of bushes, make her more of like a sight hero, right? And you don't.
I like it.
Yeah, maybe that's a way to change her up.
I like it.
So
sorry, we're on Lunara, and I just remembered Phoenix. I think Lunara isn't a terrible solo laner. She's got some talents that allow her to sustain in the solo lane, and against somebody like Phoenix, where you can whittle down his shield all the time and things like that. And now that Thrall got nerfed with his Q damage, a hero like Lunara or even Gul'dan in the solo lane, I know that sounds wild, but could potentially be something.
Crazier things have happened. I don't think Gul'dan's wrong at all in the solo lane. I've seen that happen lots of times, especially in those quick match comps. Be like, I guess Gul'dan go up there, but he can do well against even like your Zagaras of the world.
Well, with these, with this these drain life changes though, like it might actually help him to be in the solo lane if you go in that build. But anyways.
That'd be crazy. Just sit there, just drain life. No one can get within range of you because your range is so crazy on the drain life.
Yeah,
it could potentially be oppressive. Well, we'll have to see how
that
shakes out.
I am excited for these new skins, the Spectacular Wrestling. If any of you guys want to get in the mood for some lucha libre, hit up. I'm telling you, everybody should go check this out. Twitch.tv/Lucha Libre AAA. It is a Twitch channel dedicated to just Mexican wrestling, and it is awesome. It is so fun to watch. They're just flying everywhere and doing a bunch of cheesy stuff. It's really
I didn't even
cool.
know this was a thing, dude.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Toss in the show notes so everyone can check it out. I want to check that out too.
This is amazing.
Yes, LiQuiud's watching other streams on stream. Multitasking at its best. Second to last topic, confidence. So this is something that I wanted to talk about because I had a couple interesting placement matches. We all know that the matchmaker can get wonky sometimes. I was in a couple placement games where we had on my team GM number 5, Leon Black, I think. So he's actually a streamer. GM number 14, 2 plats, and me, who was my placement games. So there was quite the spread of talent. This happens a lot, even just playing with friends, like Goon's master player. Mystic's a pretty good player. Bacon, who we play with from Gangster Squad's master player. And I play with people all the way down from bronze, gold, platinum, everybody. I don't discriminate. So one thing I thought was really interesting is whenever I play with high-level players, master or grandmaster players, I noticed that, using a little bit of a hockey term here, I hold the stick a little tighter than I should. And I feel like my confidence goes down because I feel like I don't know as much as these master players, and maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't know like what their game knowledge necessarily is, but I just feel like there's that anxiety to perform better in those situations, and because of that, it makes you perform at a subpar level. When we were in that GM game that I was talking about before too, the other 2 plat players we were playing with, like I could tell they were playing like worse than a typical plat player, probably because of the same reason. And this just kind of sparked that in me. I was like, maybe this is a thing. It seems like it might happen to more people than just me, and maybe it's something we can discuss here, because I don't feel like I don't know a lot about the game and having game knowledge, but when I'm playing with high level players, I feel like it's hard to perform at the regular level. So Mystic and Goon, you guys are both high level. LiQuiud, maybe you're a better person to talk to about this with, because you're more on my league here. If you're playing with high level people, do you feel this at all? And do you think confidence makes a big difference with your performance in game?
Okay. First, confidence makes a big performance in everything that you do in life. Period. No question. No. Like, when you walk into anything, know that you should be there and know that you know what you're doing. If you don't, you're always going to struggle. But leaving that aside for a minute, I have 2 specific stories about this. One was the unranked draft that you guys pulled me into, where I had to Murden in front of King Caffeine. I could not play that game to save my life. Like I think I landed 1 Stormbolt. It was horrible, so bad, not good. Because I was freaking out. I'm like, you guys are making me Muradin in front of Caffey. Like, what's wrong? Like, no. All right.
Stick him on Lily, right?
Right. So, but I should have gone into that like I go into everything else. I deserve to be here. I know what I'm doing. I belong here, and I didn't. The second one was actually one of my placement games too, and it wasn't quite as skewed as yours. It was like 2 grandmasters, a diamond, a plat, and me against like 4 diamonds and a plat or something like that. And this was during my one trick Sonya, and I was like, the grandmasters were like, "Are you sure you want to solo lane?" I'm like, "Yep, I'm gonna do the thing I need to do. You guys keep the 4-man strong. We'll be fine." I played the Sonya game like I knew I could. At one point they pinged me and pinged up, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm coming up." Like, and I just followed the pings and just played the game that I knew I could play on Sonya, and we like stomped the other team like hard into the ground. Now, how much of that was because of the matchmaking and other things, who knows? But the key in that game is I didn't feel weird. I didn't feel the way I felt playing against Caffeine, because it was like, whatever, dude. I'm like, I belong in this game. I'm one tricking Sonya. Like, the matchmaker put me here. Let's do it. So I absolutely believe that confidence is everything, and you have to have it, and you have to believe in yourself, or it will affect your play. It'll affect more than that, but since we're specifically talking about you're playing HOTS, it'll affect your play. It'll affect your life. You belong here. You should be here.
GOON Mystic, either you guys have anything to add to that?
I think confidence, like LiQuiuD was saying, confidence does play a huge role. I'm a support main. I'm a dirty Deckard main, and if I'm not playing, one of those heroes, I'm a little less confident. Oh, I got a tank now, or I got okay, well, I'm not comfortable here. I'm not in my zone. I'm probably gonna make more mistakes, and that's something that over time with practice you kind of get over. In the situation that you described, where you're in a game with higher level players, just play the game that you play. You can. You will get a little nervous. Okay, this is a GM. We know who this is. He might flame you. No, he's not gonna flame you. He shouldn't flame you, because first of all, you're plat or whatever rank you are. He's GM. He knows that he shouldn't be expecting you to be making the same plays. Hero has a very good analogy in chat. He says it's a personal mentality thing. If I go to my local YMCA and Steve Nat, we'll just say LeBron James is there, I'm going to go out there and have fun and play my game and walk away with a cool experience. Hey, I played with LeBron James. LeBron James isn't expecting me to cross him up and dunk over him, right? Like, he's not going to get mad if I don't make the shot. Like, I'm not at that skill level. So just play the game that you can and blame matchmaking.
To be fair, you have a better chance of seeing Steve Nash in the Y than you do LeBron James.
That's true.
Yeah, I think I'd miss all my 3-pointers if Steve Nash was watching. Okay.
For my experience, rank doesn't always translate to skill level, so just be wary of that a little bit.
It is.
Well, also
true.
that's true. That's also true. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, and if any GM is flaming you because you can't land a skill shot, and it's because for whatever reason, in my opinion, they're in the wrong. They shouldn't do. They should not be do. They should be setting the example. They should be encouraging you, encouraging others around you to improve and to be confident and to be confident. That's what's important.
Yeah.
But
you're the GM. I'm the bronze player. You're supposed to be carrying me here.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, he went Genji. Don't get me wrong. He didn't flame or anything. He was actually really nice. But like one of the plat players played Stitches. He played a horrible Stitches, and I watched Liam Black stream afterwards, and he was talking about like the mistakes that the Stitches made and stuff. But you could tell like right off the bat, like one of the plat players in voice comes like, "I'm really sorry in advance." Is like, that's how you start. That's not a good awe-inspiring confidence statement right there, right? So we knew it was gonna be a wonky game. It was a weird situation to be in, but regardless, don't want to linger on that point too much because we've got an important.
So wait, hold on. I want to throw one point out there for you. So Leon Black has actually subbed in HGC a couple of times. He's actually a really solid warrior player, and depending on who that Stitches follows, he may know that. And I mean, I can say everything I want to say about confidence, but if you put me on a team with anybody that has played in HGC or is in HGC and I'm playing their role, I'm going to play like crap. No matter how much I say, have confidence, going like you own it. Like, I come back to the Murden and King Caffeine thing, right? Probably not going to tank too well that game. Just, no matter what else goes on, I'm probably not doing the best. But we'll see, you still need to own it and just walk in and be like, yep, this is me. This is my spot. Let's do it, So.
Yep.
Sorry.
So right. We almost need Romedy MC, the esports psychologist, to come on and talk about some of that. He'd be great to break that down. Okay.
Would.
Our next topic, and we'll talk as long as we need to on this one, because this is our big announcement that we were talking about. The biggest announcement in the history of the Nexus Trolls. And that's because me, Mystic, and LiQuiud are passing the torch of the Nexus Trolls along to GOONHOTS. Myself, Mystic, and LiQuiud are passing along hosting duties starting in 2 weeks. Next week's going to be our farewell show. We're doing a flashback episode, if you will. We're going to take our favorite clips from previous shows and do like a bit of a mashup. It's going to be a really fun show. I definitely suggest coming by to stop and watch that. Some of you might be asking, hey, like, why are you doing this? But LiQuiud will understand when I say that Trolls GG and the Nexus Trolls has expanded beyond the scope we initially planned when me, Mystic, and Shiz did this, 78 episodes ago. We started off as a small little podcast. We brought LiQuiud on probably around like episode 10 or so when we lost Shiz, one of our founding members, and LiQuiud ended up doing a spin-off. Troll and HGC started a Trolls GG network. LiQuiud started this media empire. We've now got writers. You're looking to put together a stream team, as I understand, too. Yep. We've got a big website. We've branched out with the third podcast, which is on hiatus because Trent got a new job recently. But still, it's been a lot. We've had Creators of the Storm, which we do regularly. We've got Bush League, which we do regularly. It's just become a lot of stuff to deal with. So what I'm going to be doing personally, I'll let Mystic and LiQuiud talk about what they're going to be up to. I'm still going to be part of Trolls GG. I'm going to be doing the Nexus Feud, which we did an episode last week, and we're putting the VOD up today for that. I'm still going to be doing Creators of the Storm. I'm still going to be doing Bush League. I'm going to be more of an events coordinator capacity. Maybe Goon will bring me onto the show once in a while. I'll make a return appearance on the Nexus Trolls, but I'll be retiring and giving the hosting duties along to Goon. LiQuiud, do you want to talk about what you're going to be up to with Trolls GG and everything?
So basically, I'm going to keep focusing on building Trolls GG. We're expanding, like you said, looking at stream team, looking at some website redesign, looking at lots of other different things. Just kind of trying to build the best right now Heroes of the Storm content we can all around, and possibly expanding into other things after that as well. So really, first and foremost, we're a HOTS organization, but we're open to other games. So we definitely want to look at other things out there. And I'll still be doing trolling. Like, trolling is not going anywhere. Trolling, the Nexus Trolls exist, which created Troll and HGC. Troll and HGC and the Nexus Trolls created Trolls.gg. Like, it's not going away. I love Troll and HGC. Goon has joined us on that show as a permanent host there as well. Just because every once in a while, either I get busy or Bags gets busy. It's hard to do a show one man. So we have a nice, good 3-man squad, and we're gonna keep doing that, and I'll be here whenever Goon wants, right? Like, I'm not disappearing. I'm focusing.
And when we started this discussion too, we were talking about like, okay, we're thinking of taking a step back from the Nexus Trolls. Like, who would we want to take over? And there was only one person on the list that would make it a possibility, and that was Goon.
He's not even exaggerating. There was literally one person on the list.
And luckily, we didn't have to go to number 2 because there was no number 2. So Goon graciously decided to take this over. And Goon, do you want to talk about like what you're going to be doing with the show, like who you're going to be bringing on to as your co-hosts and whatnot?
Mystic, you wanna?
Oh yeah, Mystic.
You wanna?
Sorry, Mystic.
Feels bad.
Totally bailed on Mystic already.
Mystic,
The
tell
show's
us.
not even over.
All right, Mystic, go ahead, bud. You got the mic.
I know we're going a bit long, but I'll still be around here. I'll still be in the Nexus, playing around. Gonna be excited for new hero releases, whatnot. And same with Daz. If Goon wants me to be on the show, I'll be around, give my insights or what have you. So.
See, Goon's already a better host than me. He picked up on the fact that I forgot about Mystic to give his 2 cents there. I was looking at the timer. I shouldn't have been looking at the timer too. I'm just gonna turn that off. We're just gonna talk about this one so we need to. Okay, so Goon, go ahead, bud. Tell us about what your vision is for the Nexus Trolls going forward, because myself, LiQuid, and Mystic are not gonna have input. It's your show. We're handing the reins to you.
Nah, you guys will always have input. I'll always come to you guys for the input. But yeah, right now I'm not planning on changing a whole lot. I like the format right now the way it is. We'll talk patch notes. We'll talk other types of HOTS news. We'll sprinkle in some HGC every here and there, but mostly that'll be on trolling. And as far as co-hosts, I have 2 co-hosts lined up. One is a good friend of mine, someone that I guess got me into coaching, coached me up back in the day, and opened up my mind when it came to HOTS, Heroes of the Storm. And his name is Aramis GG on Twitter. He is very, very smart, very intelligent, very passionate about Heroes of the Storm, about the amateur scene, competitive scene, also about he also does some coaching on his own, one-on-one coaching. And my second co-host, you guys...
Wait, you got it one at a time, man, because that's amazing. I actually know who that is, and I'm like, holy crap, that's a great choice. So awesome choice.
Awesome.
That's the crazy thing. We didn't actually know. Like I didn't know. What you were
I had
say.
no idea.
And LiQuid didn't either. Neither Mystic. So this is news to us too. So we're pretty excited to hear it.
All right. Yeah. He's a great guy. Very smart. Very smart, and I'm excited. We've been talking about doing things together, and opportunity came up, and hey, awesome. And the second co-host, you guys might know who he is. Very, very good friend of mine. I consider him to be my brother. Motivates me 110% to pursue my dreams, my passions, and he's been there every step of the way. And that second guy is Soken. He's going to be on the show with us as well, giving his casual input. And I'm really excited to be able to do this. It's going to be a good time. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna take the formula we have here, run with it, and look to keep going, keep growing, keep climbing, and turn this into something even more special than what it is now. So
you're gonna take it to the next level. And I've got a lot of confidence and faith in you guys. I'm glad you said Soken too. You're building up. I was like, say Soken, say Soken, say Soken, say Soken. You said Soken. I was like, nice. That is an amazing trio. I think you guys are gonna do wonders with the show, and I'm really glad that we started this to pass it along to you guys too. And I think the timing and everything works out well. So everyone who has been a faithful listener, again, we're gonna be back next week. Still, there'll be the 4 of us doing the flashback episode. But have full confidence, like I do, in Goon and his team to take the Nexus Trolls and have that familiarity you've always had, but also take it to the next level. Great person, great strategical mind for this, and a great personality, and he's going to be a great host.
Yeah, and I'm open to any and all feedback. If people have any feedback they want to give, any ideas, we're looking to, like I said, to take it to the next level. And
speaking of next level knowledge, Mystic, ready for your shakedown, bud? This may be your last shakedown, bud. This may be your last shakedown. This may be the last time I press this button to make this awesome bumper play. $5 well spent on Fiverr.com. Plug.
Mystic, I require service of you. I come to you as a friend, asking you to shake down this situation for me.
So Mystic, shake it down for us, bud.
Okay, so my topic for this week is reading ahead. Now, bear with me here. This might get a little cheesy, but so reading ahead. So you don't have to be Chromie to be able to read ahead, see the future a little bit. We all kind of do it in different ways, right? So we have crowd controlling the right targets. So let's just say you're getting ganked. I guess I'll use an example from what Blizzard showed on one of their videos recently, where you're getting ganked. Like your Thrall and Tyrael comes up to gank you, right? So Tyrael queues in and he throws down his smite, and there are two of his teammates coming right after you, but they're behind you. So you have your Q, which probably isn't going to do anything in this moment in time. You have your E, which is the Wind Fury, which you probably already used to get this far anyway. What you do have is your Wolf. Let's just say you're not level 10 yet, so you don't have your Heroic. You do have your Wolf, okay? So where do you want to throw your Wolf? It's a lot of people actually throw it at the Tyrael because they're like, okay, I got to crowd control this guy that's on me right now so I can get away. Now, most of the time, that isn't the correct decision because can he actually kill you if you're running towards your towers? Maybe if you're super low, but if you're pretty healthy and he ganked you, but he's actually just sitting there slowing you a little bit so that his teammates can catch up, you could throw your Wolf behind you right at those guys that are chasing you. So that'll mitigate a lot of the potential damage there, where if they're rooted, the only damage that they're going to deal to you, their team is going to deal to you, is from the Tyrael and not the Janna and the Greymane that are just about to jump on you. So there's that. You can also read a little bit ahead by thinking, what's the game plan for my opponent? So you can look at their composition. Let's just say they have a Diablo and a Zeratul and Jaina, right? If you read a little ahead without even playing the game, you can look at their draft. You can just be like, well, they're probably going for a wombo combo. They're probably going to VP, and they're probably going to APOC right after that, and Jaina Ring is going to follow right after that. So what you can do is just not clump as hard, because then you've essentially nullified some of their combo there. Zeratul is going to have a much harder time VPing your team if you're more spread out. He can maybe VP one or two people, especially if your entire team is on board. Now, playing the game, you've played a lot of games, I'm sure, everybody's playing this game. You can see a lot of the potential of what is to come here. So for an example, an easy example here is the early game, the mid game, and the late game. You know that's going to come. The early game, the mid game, maybe not the late game if you lose too early, but the early and mid game most likely going to be there. So you can plan around stuff like that of what is to come. So for another example, a more applicable example, I guess to say, is suppose you draft a team that wants a team fight, right? Now, and you don't really want to force it in lane because then that forces 5 people into one lane, you lose soak. But so you think to yourself, okay, so what is to come here? The objective. It's going to come up eventually. Now, where do you want to take your fights? Or where are they going to be grouped up for all your fights? Probably the objective. So you can wait for the objective to spawn, and that's probably going to be where you're going to get your 5v5 fight. On the other side of the spectrum, if you're a team playing split push and, just your team isn't as good at fighting as them, where do they probably want to fight? The objective. So you probably want to avoid fights around the objective and look for picks instead, where you don't get that, 5v5 fight where they have the advantage. So this works for both macro and micro, reading ahead, because for macro, it's the thing that I was just talking about, where you kind of don't want to fight where they want to fight, where that they kind of want to fight here, and you want to use what people want to do to your advantage. Let's just say the enemy has a Diablo that comes in, and so what do you know? Follow-up damage is probably coming in. What do your opponents want to do after that Diablo goes in and APOCs? They're all going to walk up and try to use their wombo combo spells. But it also provides you an opportunity, if you've read ahead, to place your AoE spell right where they want to like get in on that. So they've essentially clumped up for you, and you just slam them with your AoE spell. So it works in both macro and micro situations where you can also like be fighting someone and you're thinking, oh, well, if I throw out my skill here and, you know, they dodge that skill, they go right into my other spell that I've cast here.
I think there's that period of like whatever it is, 15 seconds after you start the game until the game like actually begins, that a lot of people don't say much other than like maybe a witty comment, you know, but you can use that time effectively to drop some insight that you might have. Like maybe everyone else knows it already, like, okay, watch out for the mosh, or watch, you know, the wombo combo, don't clump, or whatever, just like things like that. Or maybe it's like, hey, we should split push during the objective. Like you can say that kind of thing during that moment, and even if it doesn't look like people are listening, it's you've planted that seed, right? And I feel like that's an important time that you can actually convey that information, especially if you're not on comms.
Yeah. It kind of piggyback off of what you were saying there. A lot of the highest level teams know they read ahead, they plan ahead, they know exactly how they're gonna clear the wave. You know, what abilities are we going to use to clear this wave? Okay, how are we going to rotate, you know? And reading ahead also, you know, in the draft, you see the enemies drafting a certain style of composition. You can read ahead by picking something of your own or banning something on their end or looking to counter. But yeah, some good insight.
All right, time to wrap up the show. We just hit the 2-hour mark. One of the longest shows on record. We had a lot to talk about. Tough not to make it long when Goon's on, right? So, first off...
Shots fired.
Oh, that's not a shot. That's a good thing. we got a lot to chat about. that was a compliment. We got so much to chat about, we don't want to stop. But anyhow, signing off, I want to thank our chieftain, Super Dave, for pledging his support of the Trolls. If you want to be a Super Dave, just like Super Dave, if you want to be a chieftain, just like Super Dave, you can head over to patreon.com/TrollsGG and pledge a certain amount of a threshold to get to that super... $10. I always say that. I never actually put in the notes. $10 per month to become a chieftain and get a shout out at the end of Nexus Trolls, as well as Troll and HGC as chieftain. So thanks everybody for listening to the Nexus Trolls, a Heroes of the Storm podcast. We stream this live on this Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TrollsGG, every week on Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific. Goon. Other than the Nexus Trolls, where can people find you down the road?
You can find me on Twitter at GOONHOTS. I also stream from time to time, twitch.tv/GOONHOTS. I do the Bush League casting, Bush League replay analysis. We've been doing Bush League lessons. We've done lessons on solo laning, some general tanking tips as well, and more of that to come in the future. And you can find me here. Find me on Nexus Trolls, coming soon, TM.
Well, it's not TM. We know exactly what
TM.
it is.
That's exactly what,
that's true.
From
that's
here
true.
on out, actually, technically, starting today, I guess. Taking over hosting duties in 2 weeks. LiQuid, where can people find you, bud?
So obviously I'm on Troll and HGC every week, but you can find me on Twitter at LiQuidGG. That's LiQiuDGG. It's the best place to follow me.
How about you, Mystic? Where can people find you?
You can find me at Mystic Shroud on Twitter.
And you can find me at DazHots on Twitter. Thanks to all our patrons. Oh, I already said that. Subscribe to our show on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you happen to find your podcasts online. You can visit our website, trolls.gg/TheNexusTrolls to watch this and past shows, along with past video streams, which can also be found on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TrollsGG. For announcements about the show and general Heroes of the Storm news, you can follow us on Twitter at TheNexusTrolls or our Trolls.gg channel at TrollsGG. And if you want to hang out with us in the Trolls community in-game, you can /join TrollsGG in-game or join our Discord channel. Information for that is at trolls.gg/Discord. We're probably going to be doing some after-show games today, so pop into our in-game chat channel or the Discord and jump into game with us there. And finally, if you need to get in touch with us, the best way is by email at TheNexusTrolls at TheNexusTrolls@trolls.gg. It's not like I've done this 78 times already. Anyhow, everybody, thanks for watching. Mystic, LiQuid, and Goon, thanks for coming on the show as per usual. Have a great week, everyone.
'Cause I'm TNT, I'm dynamite. And I'll win the fight. TNT. I'm a power load. TNT. Watch me explode.
Love that outro.